A lot of rain leads to dramatic rescues, landslides, and a number of road closures this morning. We are live as the waters recede.
Plus, using force to keep the peace, the latest on 2 separate officer-involved shootings for the Portland Police Bureau.
And bobbing for apples on the Columbia River. How a crash along the waterway led to a bizarre scene for rescuers.
KOIN 6 News This Morning starts right now.
Good morning. Coming up on 6 a.m. on your Friday, we're taking a live look from Mount Hood Meadows, where even when they usually expect a lot of snow, even there they got all sorts of rain yesterday, just like the Portland metro area, seeing lots and lots of saturated ground causing some serious problems. And of course, we're going to continue our coverage of that. Good Friday morning. I am Trevor Ault filling in for Jenny Hansen.
And I'm Ken Body. Let's find out what's in store for today's weather. So let's send it right over to meteorologist Sally Show.
Well, the steady rain has wrapped up, so that's some good news, but we still have heavy downpours out there. There are breaks between those showers, though. So right now, a lot of the Willamette Valley catching a break. Once you head east of I-5, there's a heavier downpour just to the south of Oregon City out toward Beaver Creek and Malino, and then further out to the west around Banks, this one closing in on Forest Grove. So it'll be one of those days where the weather's always changing. One minute maybe even have a sun break, and the next it's absolutely pouring. Far fewer watches and warnings today than what we saw yesterday when this whole map was lit up, but we do still have a coastal flood advisory in effect today, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with a high tide at noon today. Issues with high rivers there and also that high tide. East of the Cascades, flood advisory until 11 o'clock this morning. That's mainly because of snow melt-off and a few spotty rain showers. So we are running well above average for the month of February. Salem has picked up more than 7 inches of rain so far this month. So we're talking about a lot of rain saturating the soil. Again, potentially still issues with landslides and mudslides today, but the rivers overall will be receding. 50 are high with on and off downpours, mild temperatures, breezy this morning at times, Carly, along the I-5 corridor, and windy at the coast.
So check out these traffic alerts. I've got a number of them for you, some of them weather related, of course. But before we get to those, I-5 northbound, watch out for the left lane block near the La Center exit. There is a tow truck picking up a vehicle from an earlier crash. Now take a look at what we have over here, which is a closure of Highway 101. And this is just north of Highway 6 in Tillamook, and it's closed due to high water. So use the alternate route of Wilson River Loop to get around that. Then the landslide that has historic Columbia River closed is still there, and the closure stretches from Larch Mountain Road to La Tourelle Road. And a landslide has Old Cornelius Pass Road closed from Phillips to Rock Creek, and high water is blocking Germantown right now near Highway 30. Now to those drive times, and they're getting longer. 13 minutes on I-5 southbound in from SR 500. A 7-minute drive here on I-84 westbound, 5 minutes inbound on the Sunset. I've got I-205 through Oregon City, 217 southbound, and I-5 northbound and from Wilsonville. All 3 of those look great.
Thanks, Carly. We are tracking breaking news in Northeast Portland this morning as a police investigation underway right now in the area of Northeast Gleason and 81st. We talked with a man who says his stepdaughter's home was broken into, and he found that out when he got a call from the police.
I was at home in the bed and get a phone call. Somebody breaks in my stepdaughter's house and knocks the door off the hinges, ramshacks her house, and try to get out this house with some of the property, but ends up getting caught.
Well, he told us that 3 people were arrested for that. KOIN 6 is working to confirm that and get more information about this incident from Portland Police. This morning, we are on the other side of that major weather system that rolled through, leaving the area just inundated with rain.
Meteorologist Claire Anderson is live this morning with the messy results of all of this wet weather. Good morning, Claire.
Good morning, you guys. We've actually moved up onto Northwest Germantown Road. We talked with some officials here who were saying that the hillside has just been inundated with so much rain. I want to show you this pipe right here. Look at this. This is all of the water that's coming off the hillside. Now, I also asked the crews, they said that this was an area where a lot of standing water was coming, and this was the water that was streaming over the road. Now, they have taken and again set up this pipe here to drain the water to go more down the hill. They're using this part of a dump truck to just keep the water off to the side. We've seen a lot of landslides out here. This is just a lot of water coming down, but Newberry Road, there's been landslides. That's going to create a major problem continuing We've also seen a lot of flooding with the waters. Again, Highway 46, there was a lot of flooding there. We're still seeing lots of saturated conditions throughout the day because of this heavy rainfall we saw yesterday. The fire departments again are saying please do not drive through any standing water, even though you think your car can make it. It's more important to just drive around, take you a few minutes versus risking your safety. So again, crews will be working to clear this water. I also talked with them. They said that there is something in the way down below that they're going to be working on clearing so then they can get this moved. But right now it's just streaming down the hill until they can get this pipe cleared and the debris out of the way. But guys, this is so much water, just showing you how much rain has fallen, and it's still going. And we are out of the worst of it. Still rain coming. So again, this water's not stopping anytime soon.
France this morning. We're following developing news out of France this morning. Anti-terrorism forces arrested 4 people when they raided a makeshift explosives lab in southern France. Authorities seized the explosive TATP, which was used in the November 2015 attack in Paris and the March 2016 attack in Brussels. They say they believe one of the people they arrested was planning a suicide attack. So stay with KOIN 6 as this story unfolds. We're going to bring you the latest updates here on the air and online at KOIN.com.
And we are also following a strange story out of New York City this morning. Check out this picture of what appears to be a plane's engine on fire at JFK Airport. The Argentina Airlines flight was preparing for takeoff late last night when that problem cropped up. Now, this story gets even more interesting after rescuers arrived. They couldn't find any evidence of a fire. Still, all the passengers were booked onto other flights just as a precaution.
We're working to learn the identity of a person shot and killed by Portland police last night. Officers were called out to an area near Powell City Park around 6:30 for a report of a suicidal man. And they say the man was holed up in a car and had a gun with him. And while they were trying to communicate with that man, he got out of the car, forcing officers to open fire. The man's now in critical condition. The officers involved have been placed on leave, which is standard procedure. The investigation blocked streets in the area for several hours last night, but things are now back to normal. Only about 10 hours before that, Portland police shot and killed a man in a separate incident in northeast Portland. Investigators say he robbed a man at gunpoint, and the victim, the guy who was robbed, who said he wanted to stay anonymous, was sleeping in his car near Northeast 82nd and Broadway, and that victim told KOIN 6's Amy Frazier about the encounter.
Did he say anything to you?
Did he say anything? You're lucky you're not dead right now. I'm from Chicago. Usually he'll shoot you first, then we'll take your stuff. That's the first thing that came out of his mouth.
Well, that man immediately reported the robbery, and shortly after that, reports started rolling in about other crimes in the area. Well, Portland police found the alleged robber that they were looking for outside of a home, and one officer shot him. He died a short time later. We're expecting to learn more about the circumstances of both officer-involved shootings later today.
Time now is 6:07, and thousands of apples just won't make it to the supermarket after a truck crashed into the Columbia River yesterday.
Yeah, you got to see this. This happened up in Washington, and it is the second apple truck crash in that area this week. These apples bobbed to the surface of the river after the trailer became completely submerged. Now, fortunately, the driver wasn't hurt, but because crews weren't able to fish out all of these apples, they're going to float downstream towards the ocean.
Yeah, they were coming out of Wenatchee, Washington, which is, that's one of the apple capitals.
Capital of the world.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
The capital of the world, yeah. But, I love those apples from there, so it's too bad they're all in the river now.
Yeah, I know. But speaking of rivers, yesterday it was remarkable seeing the rapid rises on rivers. On the Grays River in southwest Washington, the river rose 7 feet in a matter of hours. In fact, I have video on my Facebook page of a herd of elk that got stuck in that rising water. Amazing video to see. They all made it out okay, but pretty incredible if you want to head to my Facebook page. Flood warnings continue this morning for the Luckymute River, the Pudding River, the Tualatin River, and the Nehalem River. I just checked on the Cowlitz and the Grays Rivers. Both of those have just within the last few minutes dropped below flood stage. So that is good news and indicative of what's going on across the region. That steady rain has come to an end. On and off showers continue continue today, but our rivers can handle that. It's the steady rain that causes the flooding. So right now we have a shower at the airport, on and off showers up and down I-5, temperatures in the mid-40s, 32 in the Dalles, but the gorge is above freezing this morning, so roads are looking much better along I-84, and the snow starting to melt around Hood River. 40 in Pendleton, 46 in LeGrand. We do have flood watches east of the Cascades out toward Burns and Baker City because of that snow melt off and a few lingering showers this morning. Here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast today. You'll notice intense showers moving through from time to time. Here's 8:30 in the morning. A lot of people on the road, and we do have scattered downpours. Some of us dry, others of us wet. That's kind of the nature of this unsettled pattern today. And those downpours will continue through the afternoon. Maybe you were caught in one of them yesterday. I know I was on I-5. They can create a lot of ponding on the roadways in a short amount of time. So something to think about, maybe even some hail in the mix with the heaviest downpours. After sunset tonight, the intensity of these showers will decrease, and eventually tomorrow morning, showers come to an end. So today, out along the coast, morning wind, those gusts up to about 45 miles per hour before 10 o'clock this morning. So be aware of that at the coast. Scattered downpours and a coastal flood advisory. That's from 10 until 2 o'clock this afternoon with a high tide at noon. High temperatures in the upper 40s at our beach communities today. I-5 corridor very close to that 50-degree mark with on and off showers, isolated hail or thunder not out of the question. Those winds out of the southwest gusting 25 miles per hour as this low makes its way onshore and moves through the Willamette Valley. Scattered rain and snow showers, especially this afternoon east of the Cascades. Breezy at times. A lot of the day will be dry though. 43 the high in Bend, 46 in Madras. Through the gorge, the rain will be heavy at times, but look at those temperatures. We'll be in the mid-40s for Hood River and Cascade Locks. A high of 37 at Government Camp. That snow level has dropped overnight down to 3,000 feet. I think we'll have slushy roads, mainly wet, but some snow around at Government Camp. Up higher, 2 to 5 inches possible at the ski resorts today, so that's great. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast now. A few morning showers possible tomorrow west of the Cascades. A lot of sunshine east of the mountains, but most of Saturday is dry statewide. Sunday, partly cloudy. Dry weather lasts through Tuesday. Carly?
Right now on I-5 southbound, we're seeing a rush hour backup, so that's what I have for you here with the average speed of 20 miles per hour, though it looks like it's getting even slower. So from SR 500 to the Interstate Bridge, expect that lineup of traffic. Let's see what that means for drive times. Well, I-5 southbound is 14 minutes in from SR 500. Still clear on I-205, a 10-minute drive there southbound. Take a look at 26, which is a quick 5-minute commute in from 217, 8 minutes on 217 southbound, northbound 217 the same. Now, text alerts and push alerts are good to sign up for. Sign up for either one. Text alerts through our website, push alerts through our KOIN 6 News app. And when we have something major that will impact your commute, you'll receive it straight to your phone.
Thank you, Carly. It just turned over to 6:12. You're watching KOIN 6 News, watching out for you.
Winter arrives for parts of the U.S. We'll tell you where a massive snowstorm is putting a real monkey wrench in the commute this morning.
In Los Angeles last night, dozens marched and blocked streets outside an immigration detention center as they protested the arrest of dozens of undocumented immigrants. They were led by an immigration rights group. The group is seeing a surge of calls from lawyers reporting arrests and detentions of undocumented clients.
What happened as we were coming here is 5 vans and 1 bus left this detention center.
Many of the protesters say extra immigration sweeps are the result of President Donald Trump's policies, but a spokesman from the Department of Immigration and Customs Enforcement denies any spike in arrests. President Trump is vowing to keep up the legal fight over his immigration and travel ban.
A federal appeals court in San Francisco unanimously ruled to uphold the decision of a judge in Seattle. Now, his decision last Friday stopped the ban on people coming from 7 mostly Muslim countries. The government has 14 days to ask the court to reconsider its decision or file an emergency appeal with the Supreme Court.
Kellyanne Conway has reportedly apologized to President Trump for promoting Ivanka Trump's clothing line. The controversy began when Conway was asked on Fox and Friends about Nordstrom dropping Ivanka Trump's clothing line. Conway complimented Ivanka's business success and told people to buy her clothes, but critics say her comment that we're about to listen to violated ethics rules.
This is it's a wonderful line. I own some of it. I'm going to give a free commercial here. Go buy it today, everybody. You can find it online.
A bipartisan letter was sent to the Office of Government Ethics yesterday asking if Conway should be disciplined for those comments.
Late last night, Representative Tom Price was confirmed as the head of the Health and Human Services Department. Senate lawmakers held a vote overnight after Democrats' efforts to delay the president's cabinet nominees. Now, many are opposed to the Georgia congressman because of his plans to undo Obamacare and give Medicare an overhaul. Well, across the Northeast, people digging out from the biggest snowstorm of the season.
18 inches of snow came down in some of those areas. This storm is being blamed for at least 2 deaths and several crashes. The National Weather Service says much of the Northeast is waking up to bitter cold temperatures in the single digits. Many schools in Massachusetts, Maine, and Connecticut remain closed today. Airline officials say they expect to operate as much of a normal schedule as they possibly can today. Who knows how much they'll be able to do that, though.
Yeah, and interesting that just a couple of days ago they were having record high temperatures in that part of the country. You know, temperatures in the 60s this time of year, and then they get buried by this snowstorm.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
Explain that.
Yeah, they can see much bigger swings in temperatures, but even around here, you guys, remember temperatures yesterday morning were about 20 degrees warmer than the day before.
Absolutely.
So we have seen kind of the opposite thing happen with temperatures warming up, and I don't think there are many people complaining about that, especially in the gorge. It's been a snowy and icy mess for several weeks now. So your off to school forecast today, check it out. On and off downpours, so dress the kids in their rain jackets and their rain boots for yet another day. You won't need to on Monday, so you can save the rain gear for later in the week, next week after today. 43 to 47 degrees at the bus stop, scattered showers, breezy conditions. This afternoon, on and off downpours, so you may get caught by a downpour, you may luck out and have a sunbreak as your kids are leaving school. So we'll be following that this afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 40s and low 50s. Here's a live look at radar right now. A lot of us along I-5 dry at the moment, but that will change as the morning wears on. We had a heavy round of showers move through about an hour ago. Now over the top of Sandy and Estacada, this will transition to snow above 3,000 feet. Now let me take you back out to the Coast Range because all of this is moving into the Willamette Valley. This is our next line of showers closing in on Forest Grove and far western areas in Washington County. We have some light scattered shower activity in far eastern Oregon. Flood watch does continue there because of melting snow and those few showers. So unsettled today, jet stream remains to the south, and that allows the showers to roll onshore. Cold fronts moving onshore this morning, so that'll increase wind at the coast. But the good news is, the headline is, we have a nice weekend ahead of us. High pressure builds in starting tomorrow, so we'll be dry and mild with partly cloudy skies all the way through Valentine's Day. Let's take a look at your coastal forecast this weekend. A brief morning shower possibility tomorrow, but afternoon sun breaks. Highs in the upper 40s Saturday, low 50s on Sunday with partly to mostly cloudy skies. High clouds drifting through from time to time, areas of morning fog. On Sunday, here in the Willamette Valley, some of us will see a spotty shower early tomorrow, especially in the northern valley, but a lot of us will be dry all day long with sun breaks in the afternoon, partly cloudy Sunday, high temperatures in the low 50s. Through the gorge, much better weather. Will be thawing out, so temperatures in the 40s on Saturday and Sunday. A morning shower not out of the question early Saturday. Saturday, but we'll see sunshine in the afternoon, partly cloudy on Sunday. If you're headed for the Cascades today, 2 to 5 inches of fresh snow on the slopes above 3,000 feet. So some fresh snow for skiers tomorrow, maybe a morning flurry and then afternoon sunshine, partly cloudy on Sunday with high temperatures in the upper 30s. Finally, Central Oregon and Eastern Oregon, a really nice weekend ahead. Sun and high clouds Saturday, mostly sunny on Sunday. You'll notice on your 7-day forecast, rain does return next Wednesday, but we have a nice dry stretch sandwiched right in the middle of your 7-day, and that dry stretch includes Valentine's Day. Carly?
Here's a look at what we're dealing with so far this morning, and right now on Highway 101, it remains closed due to high water. This is just north of Highway 6. Use Wilson River Loop as the alternate route there in Tillamook. Now to the landslide that has historic Columbia River Highway closed between Larch Mountain Road and La Tourelle Road. That remains in place, and so does the closure due to a landslide on Old Cornelius Pass. Now this is between Rock Creek and Phillips where you'll find that closure. And Germantown remains blocked due to high water. This is near Highway 30. Take a look at the drive times. 26 eastbound, 6 minutes now in from 217. We are starting to see a little bit of slowing on the way down the hill. On I-5 northbound, it's 17 minutes in from Wilsonville. I don't see a delay so far, not even around I-205 or the curves. 7 minutes on I-84 westbound in from I-205. Most of that slowing right around 82nd, and I-5 southbound, a 17-minute commute from SR 500 to the Fremont Bridge, and I'm now seeing a delay before the Glen Jackson Bridge. So it's slow either way you come in from Vancouver.
All right. Thanks, Carly. 21 minutes after 6 o'clock on this Friday, you're watching KOIN 6 News, watching out for you.
You'll want to start saving your pennies if you plan on getting the next iPhone. Coming up, we'll look at the possible new features and the pretty big price hike.
Welcome back to KOIN 6 News this morning. It is 6:25. Time for your CBS Money Watch.
Jill Wagner joins us live from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning. Ken and Trevor, President Trump has promised a, quote, phenomenal tax plan to be announced in the next 2 to 3 weeks. He hasn't given any details. The White House, though, says it will include tax cuts for individuals and businesses. Congress would need to approve any overhaul to the tax code. Word of a tax cut, though, sent stocks higher on Wall Street yesterday. The Dow rose 118 points. The Nasdaq was up 32. Futures pointing to a higher open. The bell rings in about 4 minutes from now. Olive oil prices have skyrocketed following erratic weather and bad harvests in Italy, Spain, and Greece. The International Olive Council says some areas are seeing prices up by about 10%. I put olive oil on everything, so I might be contributing to this.
I do
Ken and
too.
Trevor.
Yeah. Olive oil is very important to the diet.
It's essential.
It is. Jill, major upgrades in the works for the iPhone, but we hear those upgrades are coming to price. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the new iPhone 8 that marks the 10th anniversary of the phone will reportedly have wireless charging and 3D sensors. But according to KGI Securities, this means a price hike. That new phone could cost more than $1,000. That is a lot of money for a phone, Ken and Trevor.
Yeah, it sure is. I was thinking while you were reading that story, maybe I'm just old school, but a grand seems like a lot for a telephone.
Yeah, no, they're not old school, Ken. That's a ton of money.
You know what? I will note, though, I know I'm not trying to justify the price, but the most expensive iPhone now for the latest model runs about $900. So people are buying it, and that's why they're raising the price, and it's not up that much more than the cost now.
Sure.
Now,
Okay.
I can't even believe I'm trying to justify it. But one way to look at it.
Yeah, well, thanks for putting it all in perspective.
Never mind. I sound crazy. I realize that.
Jill Wagner, thanks a lot. Have a good weekend.
The time is 6:27. You're watching KOIN 6 News, watching out for you.
Well, the problems continue even after the rain stops falling. Coming up, a live breakdown of all the problems that could persist after the recent rains.
KOIN 6 News This Morning starts right now.
Good morning. It is 6:30. Thanks for joining us on your Friday. We are up above Portland. It says we're with Chopper 6, but that is a pretty steady camera shot for sure. Things flowing smoothly on the freeways in downtown. We've got the roads a little bit more dry this morning after all the rain that we have seen, but not quite out of the woods yet.
Yeah, I think that is Chopper 6 because we don't have a stationary camera with quite that angle, I don't think. So the Chopper pilot is not dealing with any winds
today. Yeah, kudos to the pilot keeping that so steady.
And the temperatures are pretty good, so I think that, hey, they're just enjoying their view over the city right now. We're going to get a check on weather and traffic. We'll send it right over to meteorologist Sally Showman.
Good morning, you guys. The roads are wet out there. Scattered showers have continued throughout the overnight hours. But the good news is we catch breaks between these showers instead of the steady rain that we saw yesterday morning during the commute. It's 46 degrees at PDX. I'll show you what's going on radar right now. Some showers poised to move into the Willamette Valley off of the Coast Range. They are really heavy, closing in on Washington and Yamhill counties there. In the Cascades, transitioning to snow above 3,000 feet. And again, really heavy rain about to move through probably right during the heart of the morning commute. A few light showers in far eastern Oregon. Temperatures above freezing for most of us. The one exception, the Dalles, sitting right at freezing. We'll top out 50 degrees this afternoon. Plan on and off downpours and mild temperatures. But I have some great news for you in your weekend forecast. That's coming up in about 10 minutes. Carly?
Well, we've got congestion in the typical spots for rush hour, and I've got traffic alerts to let you know about, like the Highway 101 closure due to high water. This is in Tillamook, just north of Highway 6. Use Wilson River Loop as an alternate route. We still have a landslide blocking historic Columbia River Highway just east of Larch Mountain Road, and a closure of Old Cornelius Pass. A landslide there has this closed between Rock Creek and Phillips, so still in place and no estimated time for reopening. Now, high water has Germantown blocked near Highway 30. Now for those drive times. I-5 southbound 16 minutes from SR 500 to the Fremont Bridge. 8 minutes on I-84 westbound. It's the heaviest right around I-84, I-205, which is what I believe Chopper 6 is over. That's what we were looking at earlier. 10 minutes on 26 and I-205 southbound. A 14-minute drive from Highway 224 to I-5. 217's clear. So is I-5 northbound from Wilsonville to downtown.
Thank you, Carly. We've been telling you about it all morning. There are still landslides covering roads, and more slides could happen throughout the day.
There are also still some roads covered in water this morning. Claire Anderson out in Northwest Portland tracking some of these lingering issues. Claire?
Well, right now we're on Northwest Germantown Road, where the road has been closed since yesterday. One lane can get by for local people who live up here, but I want to show you all the water of why it's closed. Look at this. They've got a hose here just pumping out all of the water that's coming down off of the hillside. I talked with crews who are here waiting to get it clear. They say that one of the drainage ditches under this, where the water usually flows, has been blocked by debris. So today they're going to have to take a camera down there, remove the debris, remove the rocks. So that's the issue they're dealing with. And until then, they're using this pump here you're seeing, and it's pumping the water down the hillside so it can go around down towards Highway 30. Now again, the road is closed for both lanes of traffic, but there is one lane open again for those people to get to their homes. There's been a lot of landslides also again near the Pittock Mansion that was closed earlier. Still going to be closed up there. We've also had lots of landslides near pretty much around the entire area due to just the saturated water. We've also had lots of flooding. A high water rescue happened yesterday as people were hydroplaning. Rock Creek was spilling over in the surrounding streets. We've also seen Fern Hill Road and Forest Grove saw a similar scene with lots of drivers who were getting stuck in the high water. So even though the heaviest rain has moved out, we're still seeing so much moisture in the Portland metro area, so that's going to continue to be an issue. Back out here at Northwest Germantown Road, again, a lot of water moving through, so people be careful if you do have to drive through this area. It's going to be a slow go for some spots, and we're going to continue to watch the latest. In Northwest Portland, Claire Anderson for KOIN 6 News.
Yeah, that pipe that's clogged where you are, Claire, I know that workers spent all day yesterday trying to get that unblocked. Clearly, that has not worked. Who knows how long it's going to take before they can reopen Germantown. Thanks for the update.
And it's not the only place that saw flooding. Let's go out to Clatskanie now. People there should be in the clear today, but yesterday, high water was blamed on a combination of the rain and exceptionally high tide. That tide not expected to be as high today. The constant rain is over as well, so no more flooding is expected.
And a number of water rescues played out across the region as floodwaters rose yesterday. A father and his 3 children were pulled from their car after it hydroplaned on Highway 47 outside of Vernonia. And then a few hours later in Forest Grove, a man was rescued from the roof of his SUV on Fernhill Road. Look at this. By the time crews arrived to help him out, the vehicle was completely submerged.
Let's go up to Washington State. They're dealing with landslides this morning. Check out the damage done to a home in Maple Valley yesterday. A bunch of mud pushed the home's garage into the house itself. People living nearby were told to evacuate as a precaution. Fortunately, no one was inside this house when the slide smashed into it. An Oregon Department of Human Services employee facing charges after investigators found inconsistencies in child abuse reports he completed. Miguel Fuentes III was arrested yesterday in Washington County during a child abuse investigation. Deputies found 15 cases where he had reported in-person contacts that never happened, false statements, and work that was allegedly done when he was not even in the office. Fuentes had worked for DHS since 2011 and was placed on leave in November when the investigation began, charged with 15 counts of official misconduct and 15 counts of tampering with public records. The lawsuit against the city of Portland over new requirements for no-cause evictions is in federal court now. 2 landlords originally filed the suit in Multnomah County Circuit Court. The claim is that the new policy violates an existing statewide ban against local rent control measures. The policy requires landlords to pay the moving costs of tenants who are evicted or whose leases are renewed without a formal statement. It also not renewed, rather, without a formal statement. This also applies to tenants who choose to move if their rents are raised more than 10%. Now, the policy was passed by City Council last Thursday. It went into effect immediately.
2 Portland developers have filed a lawsuit to evict the Right to Dream 2 camp in Old Town. These companies are working to renovate the Grove Hotel in an effort to revitalize the area, and their lawsuit claims the camp violates city zoning laws. Developers say it's cost them more than $1 million in property depreciation and other costs. The City Council voted to move Right to Dream 2 across the river last year, but a court ruling blocked that move.
Interesting new research out of Salem suggests that women may be more open to switching to a vegetarian diet than men. Kaiser Permanente Northwest conducted the study and used the term plant-based diet to gauge reactions. 2/3 of those surveyed were actually familiar with the term, and 3/4 say they'd be willing to try it. The survey did find more men were opposed to the idea because they said they'd miss meat, and they also think a plant-based diet sounds unappetizing. Well, beloved Oregon Zoo resident being mourned this morning by animal lovers across the world.
Zookeepers made the tough decision to euthanize Packy the elephant yesterday after the 54-year-old's health got worse. Packy had been separated from the other elephants at the zoo since 2013 after he was diagnosed with tuberculosis. Packy was the first elephant born in captivity in 44 years at the time. He came into the world in April of 1962, and he was even featured in Life magazine. And those who knew him say Packy had a larger-than-life personality.
Powerful bull. But he'd be the first one that we would start new keepers with. And they'd be running through the bath routine. We have a set bath routine that we would put them through. And new folks would get the order wrong. And when they did, he would just stop and look at them and wait.
At the time of his death, Packy was the oldest Asian elephant in North America. Over his life, he fathered 7 children. Only one of them still survives. The 34-year-old female, who is still alive, still lives at the Oregon Zoo.
Time now is 6:39. You're watching KOIN 6 News, watching out for you.
The red carpet is rolled out and ready to go. A preview of this weekend's Grammy Award ceremony coming up in just a few moments.
And far fewer watches and warnings on our map this morning. We do have a coastal flood advisory from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock because of high tide and also high rivers. Flood advisory in far eastern Oregon through Baker City and Burns. Here's a look at local rivers still at flood stage this morning, but things improved dramatically this weekend. I have your forecast, plus just how much rain we've seen since the beginning of February. The numbers are astounding. That's after the break. Carly?
And be prepared to hit the brakes because of inbound slowing here on 26. We've got rush hour slowing and drive times that are only getting longer. So I'll show you the latest coming up.
Good morning. Far fewer watches and warnings out there this morning, but we do have a coastal flood advisory 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock this afternoon and a flood advisory east of the Cascades. Want to mention it's pretty windy at the coast this morning as a cold front moves onshore. It'll be a little breezy this morning also in the Willamette Valley, so just be aware of that. Passing downpours on and off in nature throughout the day, so we'll catch breaks between the showers, but some of them will be intense. A brief morning shower possible tomorrow, and then we're drying out through Valentine's Day. Great weekend ahead.
Oh, welcome back. 6:43 right now. We're going to do a little weather and traffic together this morning. Carly Kennelly is going to be taking a look at the roads, any issues out there. But right now we're talking about the aftermath of all this rain that we had. Are we still going to have any more landslides, any flooding that we need to watch out for?
We have several closed roads out in Washington County, and landslides continue to be an issue across the area. Carly, right now some heavy rain about to push into the metro, so roads will become waterlogged yet again. Huh?
Yeah, definitely. And we were talking about landslides. I know I've had people on Twitter say, I hope we don't get any more, but you never know. You never know if we will see more landslides out there. So right now, let's take a look at the rush hour delays. And I'll show you all the things that are slowing down, including this one traffic alert on I-5 southbound at the Markham Bridge. There is a stall blocking the left lane. If we can take Chopper 6, they're over it right now, and this is a way better view than what I can show you here on the camera. So ODOT's with that stall. I-5 southbound at the Markham Bridge blocking the left lane, so you'll have to move over to the right. It's causing just a little bit of local slowing, but not much at all. So now let's take a look back here at the camera and move on to some of those drive times for you. Well, I-5 southbound is 20 minutes from SR 500 down to the Fremont Bridge. You'll hit two slowdowns, the one in Vancouver here and then the one right after Delta Park, and it's slow going through North Portland. I-205 southbound is an 18-minute drive with delays from SR 500 down to the Glen Jackson Bridge. This drive time is down to I-84 though. 15 minutes on I-5 southbound from Highway 224 to I-5, so you're going to find the usual delays right before the Abernathy Bridge. 275 217 southbound hasn't slowed. It's 8 minutes. Let's take a look at 26 though. It is lined up in from 217 and it's 13 minutes long right now. 19 minutes if you're headed northbound on I-5 driving in from Wilsonville. Watch out for that slow up. It's brief, but it's in Tualatin there. And here on I-84, it's 11 minutes westbound from I-205 to I-5. Sally?
Not only are we dealing with scattered showers outside, wind is an issue, especially out along the coast. Gusts in excess of 40 miles per hour at beaches and headlands as we move into the next couple of hours. By 10 o'clock, the peak wind of the day is over with. It's because a cold front is moving on shore. So you can see we do have scattered shower activity. The showers out west of town are really quite heavy. We also have showers that have moved into the Cascades, producing some snow above 3,000 feet. But my focus right now is on this cell that's slicing through Forest Grove, moving on into Hillsborough. We also have some scattered showers that are heavy right over the Aloha area. So Beaverton, west side of town, just get ready. The rain will turn heavy. And then again, it's all going to move off to the east. So Vancouver, it's about to turn pretty heavy for you, and Battleground. Eventually, Camas and Washougal will get in on some of these heavy cells right around the morning commute. So here is a look at radar east of the Cascades. Not as much activity, but we do have some snow showers out there toward Ukiah. Folks waking up in LeGrand, on and off showers throughout the morning hours. So I told you these rain totals are impressive, but look at that. Salem, more than 7.5 inches of rain in the first 9 days of the month of February. Pretty incredible, right? PDX has picked up almost 5.5 inches of rain. We're all running well above average, anywhere between 2.5 and 6 inches above average for the month of February. All of us having seen more than we typically get the entire month. Ridge of high pressure is going to build in after today, so we have a nice weekend ahead. That's the big headline. Hopefully you'll focus on. The high pressure brings dry, mild, and partly cloudy weather. So here's a look at today. Those scattered downpours continue. Here's 8:30, but you'll notice we catch breaks between those downpours. Snow showers in the mountains 2 to 5 inches, and east of the mountains, rain and snow showers later on today, and then this evening drying out there. You'll notice showers still around at 5:30 for the evening commute, but on and off in nature, and after sunset they should decrease in intensity. Today some of the heavy cells could contain some small hail or isolated thunder. You'll notice just really spotty shower activity tomorrow morning. I think a lot of us start the day dry, and then we're dry the rest of the weekend. This is 4 in the afternoon. Look how clear it is tomorrow east of the mountains. Going to be a beautiful sunny day. So if you live in Bend or LeGrand or Baker City, Burns, tomorrow should be pretty nice. Here is Sunday. Areas of morning fog and then partly cloudy skies as we make our way through the day. I think filtered sunshine, the best description for Sunday afternoon. Your forecast today along the coast. Strongest wind happening this morning with scattered downpours throughout the day. That coastal flood advisory with high tide at noon today. High tide coinciding with very high river levels. I-5 corridor on and off downpours, isolated hail and thunder. Not out of the question with some of the heavier showers, but you will catch dry time between showers. East of the mountains, scattered rain and snow showers, especially this afternoon. Breezy at times, those gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Thawing out through the gorge, highs in the 40s there today with scattered showers. Snow showers up in the mountains, 2 to 5 inches of snow, breezy conditions with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. A few morning showers possible early tomorrow, and then we're drying out all the way through Valentine's Day. Wednesday, rain returns and scattered showers continue on into Thursday. Here's a look at your Pet Walk forecast this Friday morning. Passing downpours this morning, so within the next couple hours, again, we're going to have a heavy round of rain move on through. So just prepare for that. You can download PDX weather to track it on live radar. On and off showers this evening, but less intense is what we'll see throughout the daytime hours today. This is Jack and Miss Kitty enjoying the warmth of summer. So this is a throwback to summer. I just checked. Summer is 130 days away, so we do have a little bit of time to go. And that's another picture of Jack. That's Jack and Emily enjoying a carrot nose. So really cute. This morning's Pet Walk forecast sponsored by Jack. Okay, here is another really cute picture. This dog's name is Macaroni, rescued by the Oregon Dachshund Rescue. And finally, I want to give you an update on Patrick, our second chance dog this week. Remember his personality, just a sparkly dog, so outgoing. Patrick found his forever home yesterday, less than 24 hours after he appeared on the show. So really thrilled to hear that. Send me your pictures, coin.com/petwalk. That's coin.com/petwalk. Don't forget your name and your animal's name. And hey, if you want to see a really cool video, head to my Facebook page. Speaking of animals, I have an incredible piece of video sent in by a viewer of elk that got stuck with rising water yesterday along the Grays River. They're all okay, but the video is pretty amazing. Back to you guys.
It's exciting. We haven't had a lot of big storms this year. This is kind of like the first big winter storm we've had this year. The Weather Channel called it Winter Storm Nico. Nico, named, of course, for the tour guide who got your cousin pregnant on her semester abroad in Athens. And New York's not alone. Schools all over the Northeast have been shut down. I think they should have named it Winter Storm Betsy DeVos, but, you know, Nico is good, too.
Stephen Colbert had the weather report on last night's Late Show. Tonight's guests include Lego Batman star Will Arnett. Well, you know, Dr. Phil's show saw a spike in popularity this fall after a controversial appearance by a 13-year-old girl named Danielle.
Her bad attitude had people all over America talking.
That's what I always do, and they never catch me. Ain't nobody gonna catch me.
Because you're too streetwise?
Yup. And all these hoes laughing like something funny.
She's talking about the audience, that they're laughing at her.
Did you say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes?
Yep. Catch me outside, how about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside, how about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?
What I just said.
Of course, that clip went viral. You heard it. The 13-year-old invited an entire audience outside to settle a dispute, presumably with violence. Well, today, Dr. Phil is going to catch Danielle and her mom inside. They are back on set to update America on her progress. This time, there's no audience there. Dr. Phil airs right here on KOIN 6 today at 3. The man who made carpool karaoke a pop culture phenomenon will be on CBS Primetime this Sunday night.
Late Show host James Corden hosting the 59th annual Grammy Awards. The host says he only briefly considered singing during the ceremony.
I just think it would be really indulgent to do a song in front of the best singers in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, so look, we have an idea for how we're going to start the show, but it doesn't really involve me singing in any way. We've tried to think, well, what will people expect us to do? And what could we do that's different?
You can see a full interview with Corden a little later on CBS This Morning. The awards are Sunday night right here on KOIN 6. Red carpet pre-show starts at 4:30. We'll be right back.
Mic check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello, hello. Mic check.
So a stall I told you about earlier on I-5 southbound at the Markham Bridge has cleared. We're dealing with some lengthy drive times like I-5 southbound, which is 23 minutes from SR 500 to the Fremont Bridge, 13 minutes on I-84 westbound, 26 eastbound slows in from 217, and it's 13 minutes from 217 to I-405. I-205 southbound has a delay in the usual spot right before the Abernathy Bridge. It just jumped up to 16 minutes, 11 minutes on 217 southbound, and a 22-minute drive from Wilsonville to downtown on I-5 northbound.
Carly, we have scattered downpours, especially on the west side of the metro, primarily west of I-5, but they're all starting to push off to the east. Scappoose, that rain is pouring right now overhead. Same with North Plains and Gaston. Get ready. Some heavy rain's about to push in. Newburgh, McMinnville, and Dayton all wet at the moment. We'll catch on and off downpours throughout the day today. Tomorrow, maybe a few early showers, and then we're drying out. Temperatures remain right around average, 50s average, so between 48 and 53 all the way through next Tuesday. Rain returns Wednesday, but we'll get a good solid 3.5 dry days in a row, which will be great.
Oh, looking forward to that. Hope all of you have a great weekend. Our next newscast is at noon. We'll see you then.
Feel better, Jenny Hansen.
Yeah.
Yes.
We miss you.